Okay, main on. Let's do one more little thing.
Just got it up. I think Rory P.
What?
I think Rory P.
Oh, that's rogue. That seems accurate.
We all get excited, right? How we doing,
What's
man?
up, man? What is this, my house?
Yeah, dude. It's hard to explain.
You got my house ripping, dude.
What is it?
It's okay, so this dude like built you know Doom 2, the video game? So this dude built like an extension of the game, but like it's its own world pretty much.
Okay.
It's got all these crazy like loops and different dimensions and worlds inside worlds and
Where should I go?
So you're gonna be that tray right there.
Yeah.
So you can use that tray for. This is on, yes.
yeah, we're rolling.
All right, camera A's ripping.
Lights look good. So now he's finding like hallways that shouldn't exist in the house.
So is the podcast? I think we should just kind of announce what's happening. I think people would much rather hear us just give a play-by-play, right?
Every single thing online, I'm convinced at this point, it's just people reviewing other things people made.
Cause I told you so. Yeah, the shit not my first rodeo. So I'm mixing the butter and cheese. It's got me on my knees. Now I'm watching TV and I'm going like, yeah, it's so good.
Okay, so we've taken a little bit of a break. There's going to be a time jump. You're not even going to really notice it, but there has been a little bit of a time jump since we recorded our last episode.
Yeah.
So we're back. We're feeling good. Thanks for watching. 2 is better than 1. I'm Trav.
I'm Craig.
And today we have on Brendan.
Brendan.
Yeah. So Brendan is a very, I'm going to say multifaceted man.
Prolific, maybe.
Prolific.
One might
Hey,
say.
guys.
One might say.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
I'll send you that Venmo after the episode's over.
That's good
Thanks.
improv. I like that. Craig.
Hey man, that's what I'm here for.
You do a lot of different things.
I try to.
And actually, so you have a podcast of your own.
I do,
We're gonna
yeah.
start. It's straight up
Sabres.
Straight up Sabres.
Straight up
Yeah.
Sabres. Yes, sir.
We will pull up the. You guys have an Instagram?
Oh yeah.
We'll pull up the Instagram handle like right here-ish on the TV for you. How long have you had that for? I just recently become aware of it.
Okay,
and
cool.
I listened to 3 episodes.
Nice.
Probably.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate it.
They're pretty cool. I
Yeah.
dig it. Yeah. It's audio only, right?
Yes, audio only, but we'll do like a video component for like social media content and whatnot.
Right.
But as far as like how we kind of put it out and broadcast and whatnot, audio.
You do it
Yeah.
live too, right?
Yeah,
That's
so
really- yeah,
well,
that's
I mean,
that rich.
there's a post production element to it for sure. Like we'll do it live in the sense that like when we're doing an interview, we don't like stop in the middle of it. Like I'll just go through and do like editing after the fact.
Yeah.
But
I thought I saw. Aren't you guys at Good Bar every once in a
yeah,
while?
so we
Like-
we host trivia nights as well.
Okay,
so once a
okay,
month
okay,
we host Buffalo Sports Trivia Night. My co-host Taylor and I.
That's great.
So it's a blast. Yeah, Mr. Goodbar is one of our sponsors, so it's been a ton of fun getting to do that this season.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I dig
yeah.
that. Yeah. Who's your co-host? Taylor. You
Taylor
said?
Nigrelli. Yeah, he's
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
Really good dude. We
How'd you guys start this?
So Taylor and I grew up together. He had family ties in South Buffalo. I grew up in South Buffalo. He lived there for a bit growing up. I was good friends with his cousin growing up, and so that was kind of like our way into like first meeting each other. And then we went to high school together. Got really close in high school. Stayed close through college, through adulthood, and everything. And about 7 years ago or so, because we just hang out a bunch. Taylor is very well informed when it comes to like movies and TV. Like if you have any
Sick.
question, like he's unreal at like
like
the amount
that.
of knowledge that he has.
It's like our dad. He knows everything.
oh,
like,
okay,
Like
sweet.
movie, like the year that like movies won like awards and
That
like,
is-
all that.
that
And
is
he'll
Taylor, yes.
infamously
Director.
spoil every single thing.
Yeah.
Every movie he's ever seen, he'll happily just spoil it. Just-
He'll gladly ruin it. Yeah.
I
And
love-
he's gonna watch this
classic
episode.
dad move.
Yeah.
We love that. Oh man. But yeah, so Taylor big into, like I said, like movies and TV. I'm obviously big into music, and our mutual thing that we had was that we both love sports. So about 7.5-ish years ago, we just were talking. We were like, what if we just started a podcast? And it was originally called Rick's Reviews. Plan mixed reviews. And it was like a mix. It was like we'd take 20 minutes and talk about like the Bills or the Sabres, and then we would bring up like a movie that Taylor recently watched, and then like some music that I was listening to at the time and stuff like that, and just kind of discuss it. And then probably about like 6 6 to 8 months into doing that, these a couple of fellas were starting up a podcast network specifically dedicated to hockey, and they had this premise that they wanted to have 32 different shows, one for each like NHL, well 30 at the time, 30 different shows, one for each respective NHL city, like based in their own market.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we know it's not normally your thing like fully, but we've heard you guys talk Sabres. We think, you're pretty good at it. Would you guys want to join this and do like Sabres podcasting full on? And they kind of went into it, and that there was going to be like sponsors involved, and they had like investors in this like idea for their company and whatnot. So we were like, hell yeah, let's do it. Much to our mutual mental health chagrin with being a Sabres fan these days. It's not an easy time out there, folks, as anyone who watches the team knows. But yeah, so we got into it. We started off with this network, and then got some really cool sponsorship opportunities like on the national level out of it. Joined after like a year or two with these folks, which was called the Hockey Podcast Network, the Charging Buffalo, which is a local kind of media outlet, Sabres focused media outlet. Reached out to us. I know they're the guy who started that, Jared Holt, really good dude. He had asked if we wanted to get on board with them, and so we kind of are a part of these two. We're under the umbrella of these two podcast networks, essentially. We got local sponsors, some national ones, so it's been really cool. Do it twice a week. It's like I said.
How long have you been doing it?
So the Sabres one has been. We're on our 6th season right now. So
you've
twice a
done
week
every
for
s-
6 years.
Oh, so
yeah.
when it says
How long is
sense.
each
So you
episode?
do it during they're like an hour.
It depends. Like sometimes if it's like less is going on, or we just don't want to spend the amount of time like talking about them on a given day, like 30 minutes minimum max.
Yeah.
If it's a longer one or we have a good interview, an hour and a half sometimes. So typically kind of in that window, but usually it averages out like 45 to an hour.
Dude, I
or
think
so.
45 hours is sweet spot.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's sweet
yeah.
spot.
Keeps
That's where we
everybody's
keep
attention.
ours around.
Of
yeah.
course. Of course.
Okay, cool. That's tight. So you've been doing what I saw season, like you label it on Spotify
Yeah.
by season. I didn't think that it, for some reason, it went by the actual season of like hockey.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I just thought that it was like the season of the pod, but that makes sense.
So
Well,
we'll
that's
start.
cool.
Yeah, we'll start a
Oh,
new
yeah.
season in like September, and then that'll run through like August, for example.
It's both, Trav. That's the charm.
I know. I
Bam.
just I'm
Yeah.
putting it all together now. Yeah. Cool. All right. So I don't want to just talk about that because and we can go back to that.
Yeah,
Also, but
whatever, man.
You're a music connoisseur, if you will.
That's how I know you
do
two
it-
handsome fellas.
Yeah. So you're in a ton of bands. I mean,
kinda, yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean,
you have. Let's put it. You have been in.
I have
Yes.
been in like both active and not. Yeah.
Can we
it's
start from the top, like right
Let's-
from the beginning?
Yeah, because I think like, me and Craig usually, when we have a guest on, one of the first things we like to do is like kind of go through like origin story.
Yeah, hell yeah.
like how you became the man that you became today. Yeah.
Let's do this.
So yeah, let's do it. Let's dig into it a little bit. So the first band that we like, how we met. I can't remember the name.
It would have been the Riffs, probably.
It was the Riffs.
Yeah,
it was the Riffs.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was. That was a group I started my my senior year of college. I was in a couple of bands like prior from like late high school through like the first 3 years at Fredonia. My first band was called Landslide, and which I think I told you
Sick.
about. Play on Champagne Supernova. Like,
Fantastic.
yeah, 'cause big Oasis fan.
There's also. Are you a fan of the Vines?
Yeah, I am.
They have a really rare B-side called Landslide.
Do they really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's a sick
cool.
song.
But yeah, I was in that group for a few years, and then I was in a band called Kill the Clock for a few years, and then started the Riffs. Like towards the end, like second semester of my senior year of college, with a few dudes who went to Fredonia. Did that for a few years, and yeah, that's when I met you guys, when I came and saw you open for Catfish and the Bottlemen at Town Ball. One of my favorite local music stories to tell, I might add. I think I've said this to you before.
We've talked about it.
It's great. I love.
Hey, the audience doesn't know. I'll
They-
hear
yeah.
it again. Yeah, let's tell.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. So Catfish and the Bottlemen, one of my favorite bands, was really into them at the time. I think this was their tour for their first or second album. It might have even been their first.
I think it was their first.
think it
Yeah,
was,
I think
yeah.
it was like the second leg of it or something like that. But
It was like right after they got. Like,
yeah,
big.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they're playing the ballroom, and was really excited to go. Went with a group of friends, including John Greenan, who you fellas both know, drummer from Canetis, one of my best friends in the world. And it was us two, a few other buddies. And as I came to learn, you guys got called late in the day to open for them. But I just remember like standing out there, like in the audience, and you guys came on and started playing when you were the Naturalists still, and like it was after like the first song, like right away. I was like, okay, so this is like the Vines, like this music is the Vines, and Dave Grohl is drumming right now.
Hell yeah.
Like it was crazy. Like your voice, I've said this to you a couple times. Like your voice, it's like and coming to find out that they're a big inspiration for you. I was like, oh my god, like it was ripping. Like you sounded so great, and I've always been so like I've always so much admired your voice and your drumming, like literally both obviously look wise, but also like in terms of style, like Dave Grohl to a T, man.
I've been thinking about it more.
It's crazy.
I think the last time we saw each other, I was telling you that I've been thinking about drawing.
Yeah, when we were at Ironworks.
Yeah,
when we
I was literally
talk
like,
about this.
Yeah,
he hasn't been drumming at all, dude.
I haven't,
at all. It's
bro. Like I
insane.
legitimately have not played drums in probably 2, 3. I think the last thing I played drums for was
Trav,
with
you
Amateur Hockey Club.
And you recorded a couple songs for me on drums. If you
Oh, I
remember that.
did. Yeah, I did. I
But
feel like
either way,
I feel
spotty.
the same.
Yeah.
I still like tap around and stuff, and like I'm part of me.
We need to change this,
I
folks.
know.
Start the petition on change.org now.
I'm gonna
Trav
get him
back to drumming.
I'm
Part
gonna
of
get him
me's
to
really
record
missed
on
it.
some of the songs that I'm working on.
Yes.
for sure, so he'll be back.
Exciting for that for sure.
No, that's great,
Anytime
dude.
you need drums, dude.
Dude, say less. I'm never opposed to
Well, 'cause
jamming
I
with
saw-
either of you fellas.
Because like moving forward, I saw
yep.
you at the Ironworks a couple months ago with
Yep.
the Oasis cover band that
Yep.
you started.
Shaker Makers, baby.
Shaker Makers, yep.
And dude, so again, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, it's
so
been
I've
a
seen
bit.
you from the riffs to like now or whatever, and bro, you were, I think I said the exact words, you were commanding.
Oh,
on
that was
stage.
great.
Come on.
You crushed.
It was awesome,
You did
brother.
such a great job. They didn't even know. I'm engaged now, guys. Everybody, this is the first episode since that happened. Yeah. Love you, Al. Me and her went to that show, and she doesn't know you, and she was like, or maybe she met you once or twice, but
Maybe, yeah.
But she was like, oh, he's like killing. We
man.
were both
Thank
like
you.
killing. Yeah.
That means a lot coming
you did
from
great.
man.
Thank
you.
you.
It was a lot of fun. Oasis was the band that got me into music, like everything about it, like playing guitar, especially writing, like for sure. Like
That's
would
your
not be
that's your band.
Yeah,
that,
they were
did
like
it?
my first one. Yeah, it was like the trickle effect of it was like Oasis, and then that was kind of the gateway into like a deep dive into the Beatles, and then I was like hooked on those two for like a year or two, and then the Strokes came in. Like myself personally like discovered the Strokes, and just it was like those three bands. Even so to this day are like my like core top three that like anything when it comes to writing or lyricism, like I can trace so much of it back. There are other influences too, but like those are like the roots for sure. Those three bands.
Do you have a like a specific moment that you can look back on where you like know that's the moment where you're going to pursue music?
I do,
remember
and it's
it?
actually a really funny one. Yeah,
Yeah, hit me.
So as we know, with our age and whatnot, as we were coming up through like early adolescence was when YouTube was coming around,
Yeah.
and it was probably like 8th grade. It was 8th grade, so it was probably like 2008, 2007. And a couple of friends were over at my house, and we were on YouTube. It was like a new thing at the time, and so we were like, hell yeah, let's just like surf this. And one of my friends put on the music video to Wonderwall, and at that point, like
the mirror, right? It's holding up like a mirror. and
Yeah, it's like the
singing
black
into
and
it.
white
Yeah,
one
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a montage of
Yes.
different things, but yeah.
And I just, at that point, like I had liked music like enough. Like I definitely wasn't crazy about it or didn't have like a favorite band or anything like that. And it was like at the time that I was starting to play guitar. Like I remember if it was 8th grade, like for my 8th grade graduation present, I was like, can you please give me an acoustic guitar to like my parents and stuff.
Yes,
and so
did they?
They did. Yeah,
Shout,
they did.
all right, yeah. Shout out Brennan's parents. Let's go.
Shout out. Yes, thanks, Dad. And so yeah, I remember just like seeing that music video, and was just like, it was like I got hit by a truck. Like it was just like such a stop you in your tracks moment where you're like, whoa, like in a trance watching it, because it just there was something about it that just really I connected with like the aesthetics of the music video, like the song itself and everything, and it was like a door opened. And so I'm keep hanging out with my friends and whatnot, and I just remembered like Oasis. Friends leave, and it was like from that moment on I have spent like all throughout my adolescence, an ungodly amount of time on YouTube watching everything Oasis, like their music videos, their interviews, live performances. Like
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I love that the full circle you now are doing that like cover.
Yeah.
So
once a year, we're gonna. It's
a once a year thing?
Yeah, we're not gonna do it like.
It's
full
still,
on,
yeah.
But yeah, we don't want to do it that often. But yeah, it was that moment that it was like, I feel like what it really came back to was just the fact that I was like, so between like Wonderwall and then like learning about other songs of theirs, like Slide Away, for example, was one. Chicago 1998. Noel Gallagher acoustic performance on the Be Here Now tour. Folks, go watch it. First ever piece of music that ever made me cry. And I just remember in the early days of watching Oasis videos and just starting to play guitar, like the thing that always resonated for me was like, this band has made me feel so many emotions that I didn't know possible, and in so many different ways, and hitting all these different points that like, if I could ever do something that makes another person feel the fraction of a way that this music makes me feel, I mean, that's like, what more can you ask for out of life, you know? And that's, I feel like something that I kind of use with like my own writing in a way as like very much a guiding force of just knowing how my favorite music touches me and has struck a chord with me and has really like shaped who I am as a person. And, you know, if there's any way that people can resonate with something that I write or a song of my band or one of my bands or something like that, like that's the greatest compliment that you can get, like music or not, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I like that it was a piece of music that inspired you to play music. Because that was not the case.
What's
for
yours?
Me. I don't know about
what are
you.
your guys' stories?
So mine was it was a movie. It was my dad showed me and Craig That Thing You Do.
Oh yeah.
And
Cool.
I think it was
That's
Guy
great.
Patterson's the drums on that
Wow.
was what like really was like, oh, I want to play drums. Like that was the thing.
That's so
and it wasn't even a song. It wasn't even the song. It was literally like just like the movie itself, like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of telling because I feel like it was more like the story and like the film, if you will. But yeah, that's what got it for me. And then I fell in love with music after that.
Yeah.
But that was actually the thing that made me want to play drums.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. What was
Craig?
yours? I have no idea what yours was.
I never really thought about that, I guess. It was probably Nevermind by Nirvana. And it wasn't just the record, because I had the record and I always liked it, but then I started learning how to play guitar and like started becoming more fascinated with writing songs, which is truly what I like to do. And but I couldn't sing at all, especially like Kurt Cobain. And I couldn't fucking play guitar either, you know? So every day, you probably remember, every day I would come home, blast it on the stereo, play along to it on my guitar, and suck at it forever until eventually I could play it, you know? And then I think it was once I started being able to at least get close enough to be like, oh, I can do this. That's where it like clicked. And I'm like, oh, now how do I start making my own version of like this, if you will, you know?
Yeah. That's so sick.
Just kind of evolved from there, really.
That's really cool.
I can't remember who I was talking. I don't know your story on actually learning how to play an instrument, like how that went. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about teaching yourself an instrument. Is that how it was for you?
Yes and no. Yeah, like I got the guitar, and then I started to take lessons with like my 8th grade music teacher, who she didn't really know how to play guitar super well. Great pianist, but
Right.
like kind of knew guitar, but
New
like
theory, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, but again, it wasn't even like that deep. It was like teaching me like chords, pretty much. And then for the most part, though, it was just like self-taught, which like in hindsight, I really regret. Like,
Really?
Yeah, you know, like it was good, but I also wish that I had a teacher who was like a proper lead player and like had the discipline of like, okay, like, you know, next week I got to prepare like this for my next lesson, and like keep like learning scales really well. And like,
I have a question real quick, not to butt in, but Dakota, shout out Dakota. Is he taught by somebody? Or?
I believe so. Yes, but
Because he is a fucking wicked
he's a
guitar
beast.
player. Yeah.
He's a beast, man. And it's cool too, because like
Everybody keep going. I just want to make sure this is recording because I'm OCD.
Yeah, he is a beast. I'm pretty sure that he is, and I know that he just kind of grew up with a kind of a bit of a music background and music surrounding him and stuff. But it's cool because like in Slow Animals we play together and have for a handful of years.
He's like
now.
your guy.
He's
right?
our rhythm guitarist though in that band because we have Mike Butler who plays a lot of lead. But in our new group that we're doing, he's playing lead in that. But
Wait, Michael Butler?
Michael Butler, yeah.
Alexander Butler?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I love them.
Yeah, they're great,
Is,
man.
is that his girlfriend or is that his?
Okay. It's his girlfriend. Yeah. Shannon.
They play. I do marketing for a couple restaurants around here,
Yeah.
and they play at one of them.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, over on Delaware.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I've seen him there, actually.
I met him maybe a month or so ago. Yeah,
He played guitar in Canetis. I feel like when we've done shows together.
It's weird. Like
right?
neither of us like said anything about it, but like I was like I feel like I knew this guy.
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
talked for so long before on text or whatever. But anyways, keep going.
That's
Sorry.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
Are we not to? Am I butting in? If
Not
I
at
just
all.
take- Okay.
Send it.
So you started like you went to college, you got the riffs going.
Yeah.
Then we moved to was it right to Canetis?
Yeah,
or was
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
And Slow Animals pops up somewhere in between.
That was so. Slow Animals technically was first.
Okay.
So the Riffs played our last show in like I think it was October. Our last show. We've done a couple reunion things, but like our last show when we like called it quits, like October of 2018. At that point, Slow Animals had kind of already been in the works, and we played our first show for Slow Animals in December of 2018. So it was probably about like, I want to say like August of 2018, like a month or two. Like we had known the Riffs were going to end, like our last show was going to be in October.
Yeah.
And it was around that time that I had gotten Slow Animals started and like asked everybody initially, because it was originally just a Strokes cover band.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, 2018, like
Hence
December.
the name Slow Animals.
Correct, yeah. And then it was at that point, too, that Canetis already was like, the wheels were turning, and we already had like started to get together early 2019, put out our first single, summer 2019, and kind of let it
You were
rip
working
from
with,
there.
I believe it was RJ, right? at the
RJ
time?
DeMarco.
Okay.
I cannot say enough good things about what an incredible collaborator he is to work with.
Yeah,
man.
I mean-
that dude is a beast.
I've never worked with him, but I love him.
He's great.
No,
yeah.
And you guys put out a great collection of music as well.
Thanks,
Did you so question, you play guitar obviously?
Yes.
You write all the songs?
No,
For like
it's-
Canetis, or is it a collaboration?
It's
thing?
definitely collaborative. As far as that process, it was usually either Mike or Matt Sasha, who are our two guitar players, would bring like an initial like guitar riff, or they'd have like the start of a song idea going. We'd bring it to practice, and then we kind of would like pick it apart from there and build the song from there. So usually it would start off, one of those two would have like a really good guitar riff, or like a good chord progression, or like a verse chorus combination all ready to go, and then we kind of collaboratively, the five of us would build out the rest of the song. I would write the lyrics, and then and then it would just kind of come together with a good team effort.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. That was kind of how Smug worked when we were writing songs. And Smug,
Yeah, it's so weird. Like when I think about all that, I don't know how. I know you wrote the bass of all of the songs. I just came in and I played the drums. Like I don't know how that whole process went. Essentially, like
Yeah.
how the song they just like appeared all of a sudden to me.
that's fun.
Listen, you're drumming on those Smug records.
I have I just
Come on,
all
Travis,
I remember,
do not downplay this
well,
right
no,
now,
all I
man.
remember like with drums, like looking back on it, because it's funny when you it's almost like a relationship, I guess, and you look back on where you're like, I remember now that enough times passed all of the great fun memories.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I kind of don't remember the bad ones like enough.
That's
of
great,
like,
though.
yeah,
that is great.
That's
So
That's
like
really
I think
good.
enough
Yeah.
time has passed where I'm like, should I get back into drumming a little
Yes.
bit? Like I don't know. You have
Hell
to
yeah.
tune everything. I don't even know where everything is. Anyways, I wanted to because you have a new band,
Yes.
right now that I just followed on Instagram called.
we just followed you back.
Which we
yeah,
go.
you did.
We got to finish the timeline though. So
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
We gotta-
There's a
we gotta
timeline.
do-
I just want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
we got to
yeah.
get a cohesive
Sorry, yeah.
timeline.
Of
Of course,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
So all right, so we
Well,
got to
you're
start
doing-
from the
you're
top.
being
We
a
got the
good little
riffs
girl,
we go
baby.
from. We got then we start Slow Animals Up, which is mainly started as a Strokes cover band.
Has evolved since, but yeah, it was initially just Strokes.
Which I love that, and I just want to like bullet point how. So since the Oasis band show,
Yeah.
that we played, I dive so hard into the Strokes again. Now my first round,
You guys are just trying to butter me up right
dude,
now, man.
bro. My first round, into them was like, you know, like I got the hits off of them back in the day. I was around that time much more of like a The Vines fan, right? Which is whatever. I love both those bands a lot. So this time around though, now I'm like going from album to album and like truly understanding like the genius behind that band. And bro, what's your favorite record by the Strokes?
Oh my
I gotta
God.
ask.
Oh God.
Not to put you on the hot seat.
Am I allowed to have a tie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Their first and most recent. It's a tie between Is This It and then The New Abnormal, their album that they put out in 2020.
Yeah.
Is This It is like, and Room on Fire is like right behind.
Dude.
Is This It is just like, in my opinion, I think without question,
It's a perfect
across
record.
genre. Yeah, it's one of the best albums of the 21st century.
It's beautiful, right?
It is.
Is that the one with Reptilia on it?
That's the next one.
Yeah, that's Room on Fire.
Yeah, Is This It is with like Last Night and Someday. Hard to explain.
All right. That makes sense.
I think it is a flawless, like top 10 of the 21st century spanning genres. And then I think what's cool about The New Abnormal is, you know, once with the Strokes, you kind of get more into their discography, as I'm sure, you know, were picking up. Like once you get really past like the third album into like the
I'm at
fourth
like
and
Comeback
fifth.
Machine right
Come Down
now.
Machine.
Or Come Down
yeah,
Machine.
Yeah. They start to expand a little bit with their genres and what they're using, you know, using a lot more like synths and stuff like that and other tracks. And it gets a lot more like explorative and out there, and it's cool because I feel like The New Abnormal is the perfect encapsulation of where they were kind of building towards with expanding genres, but also it being rooted in like just really good like pop music, like rock music, you know, like it doesn't like that's the thing that is like a common thread is just like Julian Casablancas knows how to write an incredible melody, like something that you just get stuck in your head.
And I didn't even know until recently that he had written those first two records like just by himself.
Oh,
right?
100%
That's
himself.
that's so.
Oh,
wild
really?
to me.
Yeah.
And his voice, again, especially on those records, and I mean the First Impressions of Earth is fantastic. All the way through, his voice is fucking sick. He's got the coolest voice.
It's
Like,
cool how
the
it's like
coolest.
evolved. It's gotten different. It's changed over time as he's gotten older.
He only does one take, right, when he records. Is that true?
I didn't even hear that.
I
have no
Heard
idea.
that a long time ago.
I think there's certain stories of that
You
where
might be
he's
thinking of
able
Liam,
to-
dude. You might be thinking of Liam
No,
Gallagher.
no.
That is also a thing
'Cause
too.
he does that.
Yeah.
I
know he does
remember
that.
specifically it was Julian Casablancas.
Yeah, I feel like I vaguely know.
I'm thinking of Jay-Z, dude. That's
That's not what Jay-Z does.
What? I
That's
thought
not what he
did.
does. No.
All right.
No, Jay-Z just doesn't write anything down. It's all
All right,
done.
so
Anyway,
then
yeah.
we moved.
There we
Then we
go.
moved to Canetis. Then we did Shaker Makers.
Yes, for one night only,
which was
featuring
one
Craig
night only,
Pernell.
but it was fantastic, and everybody loved it. And then now you are in a new band.
Yes,
Deb. Here we are.
Okay,
We're here.
cool.
And
Now
you
we
have a
can-
new
yeah.
show, or you have a debut show coming up in April. I believe.
Yes. So first show is going to be, it's actually a benefit concert for my late sister who passed
Yes.
away back in 2022. Every year. This is gonna be
Concert for Jenn?
The concert for Jenn,
Yeah.
yep. All proceeds are going to support Recovery Options Made Easy, which is a really amazing local mental health resource. They have a respite and recovery center on the east side that opened up in 2023. It's been really incredible for like the community. It's it's a non-traditional approach to like handling mental health, and that the way that a lot of places now that we see, you know, people are kind of treated like a number, and it's like you're in waiting rooms for a long time, and you know, you don't really get the individualized care that you really need for a lot of folks. And you know, as we all know, like mental health issues span a very wide spectrum. And so what's really cool about Rome, Recovery Options Made Easy, is that they really, we love a good acronym, right?
dude.
But yeah, they approach it in a very like individualistic way where like it's meeting your needs, meeting you where you're at. You're not, you know, you're being treated as like an adult that has specific problems and
A human,
kind of-
not a
yeah,
number.
exactly. So they're really wonderful people. We've raised over $30,000 through the first 2
let's
years
go.
of the concert, which is great.
Wow.
For this facility, yeah. So it's great, and yeah, we're it's April 19th at Nietzsche's. That's where we had the first concert last year. Was at Town Ballroom. We wanted to go back to Nietzsche's. Like Jenn was a like regular at Nietzsche's. Her pictures on the wall actually in a couple different spots, like behind the bar.
That's amazing.
In the main music, in like the main front room, and it just is like more like feels like her, you know. And I mean, not that she didn't love ballroom too. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Right.
But yeah, no. So that's gonna be our first show. We have Grosh headlining the music side of it, which
Cool.
Grosh obviously rips, and then Caitlin Piluffo, who is like a really great comedian. She was just on the Tonight Show last week. She's headlining the comedy portion, and then Jake, who is like my brother from another mother, my late sister's partner at the time of her passing. He does comedy as well, Jake Piskor. He's like, him and I kind of have co-organized this and run this over these past few years, and so he's going to open up the comedy side of things. The
nice
strip
blend
teasers, the
between-
burlesque
you
troupe,
got
they're
a
also
whole bunch.
performing. So
Wait, who's the troupe?
the strip teasers, they're a burlesque troupe.
Great. Yeah, they're friends. Yeah, they're friends.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
nice.
We've done
Yeah.
a couple things.
Yeah,
with
we've
them.
done a
Yeah.
few shows.
Oh,
with
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
they're
Yeah,
great.
so they're great. So yeah, it's a really great event.
They just
you know,
redid Nietzsche's in the back or the stage area.
everything.
right?
I think. Yeah, I think they redid the bathroom. Did you guys see that the urinal from Nietzsche's was on Facebook Marketplace? Folks, if you want to know where COVID originated,
That's hilarious.
boy, do I have a purchase for you.
When did they do all this remodel? I
Past
haven't
few
been.
weeks, I think it's like
Oh,
the
really?
yeah, they
Okay.
just I think kind of reopened from this phase, but I know it's like the bathrooms. They have a whole new lighting and sound system. Did
cool,
new shit with
man.
the stage, and so it's gonna be really great. I think they're doing food there now too. They obviously take card
they
now,
should have
which is
done
great.
that. Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
everybody, you should come out.
Oh, they're
That
doing
sounds like a
card
good
now?
time.
Yeah, they do.
Dude, I
yeah.
haven't been there in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I got to get
If you're
over
free
there.
on April
I'm gonna
19th.
come to that.
We'll be
Yeah,
there.
I'm coming to that.
But yeah, no, so it's going to be great. And it's going to be Deb's first show, which is really exciting. We are like so stoked on it. Like I'm really, really excited to like start to get this out into the world.
And
Cool.
the guys in Deb, we got
We got Dakota
Dakota
on lead
you're
guitar, which
the
is
guy.
amazing.
Fucking love that
All
guy.
around like one of the most talented musicians.
Easily.
Engineers. Like he's just so smart musically. John Purdue on drums from Previous Love. So
Cool.
John rips and also bass in the Shaker.
I was gonna say he was, and it's not his instrument.
No,
either.
yeah.
He's
Drummer by
crushed
trade.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was so good, right? Like that was his first
Wait,
show.
that
out-
dude's not a bass player?
No, bro. That was his first time ever
Yeah,
playing a
he's
show
good.
on bass.
So he's a drummer.
He drums. Yeah, he drums for Previous Love, and he's drumming in
Okay.
Deb. And then Eric Corey, who's the lead singer. He was the lead singer of the band Animal Sounds. They're not really together anymore. They're like a Rochester kind of Buffalo outfit, but really cool band. But Eric has been like one of my best friends for a while, and so we've been wanting to do music together. Me, him, and Dakota initially were like had the idea of doing something for a while, and then we're like, all right, we should probably start trying to take this seriously. And John was the first person that we kind of asked of being like, hey man, like we're looking for a drummer, like would you be into this at all? Just because I love Previous Love.
Yeah, dude.
And he was about it, and then we kind of all started hanging out, started writing together, and it's been a really cool, refreshing process, like starting up again.
Yeah, I think I said this to you when we were rehearsing for the Oasis show. You have a lot of friends who are musicians.
I try to,
it's
I
nice.
think
You're
it's
surrounded
important.
by a lot of very good musicians. That's nice.
Yeah, man, I think that's really important. Like, I think for me, like, because with whether it was the Riffs or Canetis or Slow Animals, I do all the booking and everything, kind of like the management stuff, and like I always find it really important to try and like make sure that every bill that any band I play on is not the same as one prior, and that spans like genres, members, like everything like that. Like I think it's important kind of having that representation like at shows and whatnot, and like through that, I think it's important to like make good connections and meet people and like try to establish friendships. And like that's literally how we became friends, like just going up and being like, hey, you guys are fucking awesome, let's be friends.
That's the most fun part about all of that,
Right?
is
Yeah,
that it's like a bunch of people doing something similar to what you're doing, and you're like, usually they're playing, and you're like, holy fucking shit, I'd love that, and then you get to become friends with them.
It's great because
It's awesome.
I feel like in the early days with music, I'm sure you guys like experience it too. Everybody does. Like when you're first starting out, I think there's this like competitive edge that everybody kind of operates with, where you like see a good band and you're like, oh, but I got to be better than them or whatever. And I think it's a natural thing for like when you're just starting off playing music. But I feel like kind of once I got over that hurdle, it was like, well, what's more important, like making myself feel like I'm like, you know, having to compare myself to another artist, or to like be a part of trying to like build a community and like build friendships and connections. And like ultimately that's how, like, you know, like I said, like the music community itself and like scenes build. I think that's really important. And then also it's like a great way to just like meet good people and become friends with people, and, you know, like just from so many different walks of life and interests and musically and otherwise and stuff. I mean, yeah, that's just always something I've like really felt like was really important, is just trying to like, you know, have it be more than just like the surface level, like, hey, good show, bro. You guys killed that. You guys killed that, bro. It's like, no, I'm like, tell me what was inspiring that, or like, when you playing next? Like, when can I, you know, like just trying to like actually fucking be a friend, like make friends with people. And
you said something that definitely struck a chord with me too, where because I feel the exact same way of like, I was given the feeling of like, I want to like give back to somebody in the music world the way it was given to me, if you will. I think like that at the end of the day, that's all we are out there. Like, we're all just trying to like make something that means something to somebody.
That's beautiful. Like, that's a line right there. That's beautiful.
Like, I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, right? Yeah. So like, let's all be friends, man. Let's make it happen. Like, shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I dig that.
Hell yeah.
Trev, you said, all right, we got some time still. Trev, you had a question, a really important question that you wanted to bring up, right?
Oh God.
I don't even know if you know anything about any of this topic, but this is so. Have you watched any? You've watched previous episodes of this before. We kind of dive into like conspiracy theories and weird like movies and stuff. So I was,
or like weird creatures of the deep, or whatnot,
creatures of the deep.
Aliens.
Me and Craig, I specifically, since we were in like 8th grade, maybe before that, have been really into like the Loch Ness monster and stuff like that. Do you have a favorite cryptid? Do you know what a cryptid is?
Like a mythical creature?
Yes, dude. And
exactly
and
what
if
it is.
So, if so, why?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are. This is good.
Hot stuff. Dude.
This is what the people need
This
to
is
hear.
what the
This
people
is
want.
so. Just so you, this is probably. I'm probably gonna clip this part for sure.
Oh man, a favorite mythical creature.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that's tough. I mean, are we saying like that?
I can lead you down a path.
That there's
if
like
you
a
want.
plausible, like there's a possibility that it actually does exist.
It would be nice,
or-
dude. It would be
like so.
Like, it
Yeah.
could be
So
like-
what I'm looking for, I guess, what I'm looking for in this answer is the passion. So like, I want you to believe.
Mine's Sasquatch, hands down. Like,
Well, I was
that's
gonna
how
say, like, I
You
kind
can-
of.
it could be obvious. Yeah.
I go a couple of different directions. One, my girlfriend Grace and I, we went to the UK this past summer, and we were in
Sick.
Scotland for a little bit. So when you said Loch Ness monster,
what I'm fucking
I was
talking
like,
about.
all right,
Yeah.
well, that could be potentially. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know.
That's my favorite.
man. It's a big lock.
Yeah, big lock. You know, Nessie. You know. Yeah.
Nessie's my favorite.
Okay, there we go. But I also
For
think
sure.
there's something to be said about Sasquatch or the abominable snowman.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's been some potential sightings. You know, we don't know.
A lot of forests.
There's so many, man. Have you seen all the trees? So many
lot of
trees.
forests,
Has everybody climbed every snowy mountain peak that there has been? I think it's like the same thing. We don't know what's going on in the ocean.
Yeah.
What is it, like 3% of
We've
the
discovered-
world's ocean floors have been discovered?
Yeah,
or
that's
something?
crazy.
We, in theory, know more about
Folks.
space than we know about our own oceans.
That
which is a pretty
is
wild one.
horrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is horrifying.
Is it it?
It really is. Well, see, now we're talking here.
Yeah.
What about, let's talk
Exactly.
about space a little bit.
Yes.
Like,
I'm in.
That's
dude.
one of our favorite topics. on this
Okay,
show.
cool. Me
Yeah.
too.
Space.
Let me.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into anything, then, can we talk about that currently there's remember those astronauts that were trapped up and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still up there. You guys know that, right? They like haven't been. Wait, you remember
They
this?
are.
But
have they been brought
But
down?
isn't it by? They're supposed to still be up there, right? Like it was a part of an agreed upon extension or something
They-
of them being up there still.
Yeah, like they're this was supposed to be their like last time going up there, at least one of them. So they're like, okay, well, we got some more time now up there. Like, this is nice. We can hang out here a little bit longer. But like our NASA that they're responsible for to bring them down, they have no way to get down. Their ship is like, something happened on the way up where there's like a hydrogen leak or something like that, and I could be wrong about the element, but there was a leak in it. And
How long ago was this? This was
dude,
like
months and months
yeah.
ago. They were supposed to be brought down 2 months ago. They're still just hanging out up there.
Yeah, when I heard about this, there was like a set date that they were supposed to be brought down.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're down yet, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
This is the hard-hitting breaking news
Yeah.
that people need.
Wait, before
Listen.
we move on to space, though, do you have one? Is it Sasquatch?
Dude, I think it's. I mean, I guess. I
Have
will
you
be
ever-
honest. I don't think I've sat down to put enough thought into like a tiered ranking of
That's
them.
fully fair,
But
like,
I think
honestly.
both of them though very much intrigue me, and I think that there's got to be something to it.
Okay.
Right?
Why is there that many people talking about it if there isn't? Right?
Exactly.
So
I had to start somewhere.
I will spend hours, dude, like watching YouTube videos of like suspected like sightings of the Loch Ness monster.
Oh
but at the
my
same
God.
time, and I'm only watching maybe like 5-6 videos, but it takes me that long to get through them because
Yeah.
I'm so scared of like open water in general.
He's terrified of water. He
Of
won't
water.
go swimming.
But I'm obsessed with the Loch Ness monster, which brings me kind of to my next point, which is I think that fear and excitement are the same emotion. It's just different sides of that coin.
I
right?
feel like that's fair. I have a friend who is deathly afraid of flying, but is fascinated by plane crashes.
Yep.
Like watches
That's how it
videos on
always
them.
goes,
Yeah.
dude.
And
That's how
like
it always goes.
Like just planes in general, but like when planes go missing and
Yep.
stuff, like. But he is
Like Sky King, you know about Sky King?
I don't know if I
The
do.
kid who do you know about Sky King?
Yeah, Sky King's legend.
He
He's great.
he stole a plane.
Come on.
Never has flown a plane, but he worked in like security luggage and stuff like that on planes. When people would like leave, he'd go on and like blah blah blah. So one day he just goes on, steals the plane. He gets on radio. Everybody's like, "Yo, what are you doing, man?" And he's like, "I'm just gonna take this thing for a spin." He's like, now he's up in the air. He can't pressurize the cabin, so he starts getting like nasty, being like, "Yo, tell me how to pressurize the cabin," and they're trying to use that as a bargaining chip of like, "Nah, bring it down,
Get
bro.
your ass down here."
And he's like, "There's only one way I'm going down," and then he's like, "You don't want it to be in like a city, right? Like, teach me how to like." So they tell him how to do it. He pressurizes the cabin, continues to fly all around, like having a good old time. Throws up a couple times, still having a good old time.
Doing like barrel rolls.
Well, he eventually goes like, "I think I'm gonna do a barrel roll," and they're like, "Yo, not in this plane. You can't do a barrel roll in
like a
this
commercial
plane."
jet.
Does a barrel roll?
What year was this?
that long ago.
2012 maybe.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Google it, dude. There's videos of it. You can watch him flying.
Multiple
Like,
videos
yeah.
of people
I got
being
my
like,
plans for
Yeah,
tonight.
dude.
Oh my
"It's
god.
insane. It's insane, dude. Yeah, check out the story. It's
All
nuts."
right. That is wild. Wow.
What the hell were we talking
I was
about? We
gonna
really
say, what was the-
spiraled
was
here,
it?
guys.
'Cause I brought us
Spiraling
away
all
from
over the
it.
place.
We were
Space?
We were gonna get
Yeah,
to space. Space is crazy.
Space is
Yeah, what do
crazy.
we
Space is
got?
really crazy. The thing, I feel like everybody thinks about this, but what really racks my brain, the premise that the universe is always expanding. So
Correct.
if this is it, like what the heck is out here?
They say they found like something of a wall, if you will.
A wall.
So okay, this is the biggest theory that I have. It could just be like a big span of nothingness. But okay, so if it keeps expanding and getting bigger and 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 bigger, it's eventually got a knot, right?
One would think.
Yeah, it's what is it? Entropy and what's the other one? Entropy and whatever the opposite of that is.
Part of me wants
Yeah.
to say
Expansion and
entropy, but I know that's
entropy,
not it.
Either way. So it's so the idea is that like there's a big black hole that is sucking everything back into it, and then like think of that as like a zip file in the universe. And then now inside that zip file is now everything to make the new universe. What's the Big Bang? The Big Bang, other than just a bunch of data exploding into a new area. So now that makes another world, and then that world eventually expands so much that gets zip filed back into Big Bang after Big Bang after Big Bang, and it's just one big circle. It's like Matthew McConaughey in True
Whoa.
Detective, where he's like, "Life's just one big circle." It is.
Amazing performance, by the way.
Yeah, that was good.
That is incredible.
It is
and
wild.
I think beyond like the comprehension of my mind, at least.
For
I
sure.
mean, it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
absurd. I do wonder, like, in our lifetime, are we going to like a full-fledged like contact with
I
life
think about
from
it all the time.
I
every
fucking
day.
hope so, dude.
Right?
I don't
Like-
think so, but I really want to.
or even like, what if there is a chance that somebody else out there already knows what's going on down here and is
Yeah.
just keeping tabs.
That's
there's
the
all
only
the-
realistic one to me is that somebody else has come here. Because I think that the only way that we would be able to actually get to like another species to contact them is we have to be quicker than light, which is theoretically impossible. And if we're at the point where we're going, that's theoretically impossible, then I don't think that we're even close enough in our lifetime where we're going to see that happen. So
Can the world today even like handle something like this
I don't think
happening?
so,
I don't
yeah.
think it can.
Dude, we got way bigger problems than We got way bigger
Dude, me-
problems than light travel right
Yeah,
now.
true.
We're falling apart at the fucking
is
seams down
bad,
here, dude.
Bad.
Yeah, we're fucked, bro.
Aliens just come down and just like, all right, we got more important things to worry about. Come back in a few
But-
years. Like, no.
But them being like coming
Oh, the
here.
United States just has a CEO now. Let's get out of here, guys.
yeah, it's about time to. I don't think I want to be around that.
But yeah, in terms of like them coming here, it seems fully possible. I mean, I don't know what's like. None of us know what's a possibility out there. So like that is at least in the cards still. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think if it's on our backs, then we're gonna be able to do it in our lifetime. Unfortunately,
Yeah. No, oh, you're saying we wouldn't be the ones to like discover it elsewhere
in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's unfortunate. But
it
it would
is.
be even, dude. Even when we're like 94 and like chilling
It'd
and
be
like
the
on a
best
couch
last
all day,
ever, dude.
Wouldn't
That'd
it?
be the best last day.
Like,
ever.
oh, I
Yeah.
wonder what's on the news today. And turn it on, and they're like, "Oh, full scale invasion." Like, dude, you lived your whole full life, and you
Yeah.
also get to see a full scale invasion.
And you get
by
to live your
aliens.
life and be like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, I knew it,
I
dude.
knew it all along.
You turn to your wife, yeah, I fucking knew it, honey.
That's great. You
Pass the wheat thins. I want to watch Channel 4's broadcasting the alien invasion.
I remember
Can you
when-
microwave that popcorn, dear?
I remember when I was like maybe like 18, I used to think that the best way to die would be, 50, 60 years old with like a meteor crash that was so big that it wiped out the entire planet because then I wouldn't miss out on anything.
That's the most narcissistic. That's the most narcissistic thing I've
That is the
ever heard
heaviest
in my
level of
life.
FOMO I think I've ever heard
What
in
if
my
they party
life.
without me, though?
If I'm going, you all are too.
This is when I was 18, guys. Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
is true.
amazing.
Yeah, I was also terrified of being drafted at that age, but same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Very fair fear.
Yeah. No, like
Was
legitimately
that
though,
draft
from
stuff going on around then? I didn't.
there never was happening. It was never going to be a thing. But I do remember when 9/11
Just an
happened.
irrational fear of being drafted.
No, this is actually serious. Like this, like shape. This is what shaped me to be the man I am today. So I remember 9/11 happened, and then I heard we were going to war, and then I'm like, well, wars don't usually resolve real quick, and we were like 12 at the time, and I'm like, that means that we got like 6 years to wrap this up before I'm gonna get drafted and go to war. And bro, this is so fucked up, but I would go to sleep almost every night, like thinking about like how to get out of being drafted. There was no draft
That's
that was
crazy.
happening. Yeah, and what I've always said since then is like a kind of a joke to like alleviate how like actually like messed up that like made me growing up. We're talking 6 years, guys,
Yeah,
of thinking of this
yeah.
every night before I went to bed. Now, when I hear anything about the draft, I go like, because it ends when you're 28. Like
no,
you
it's
can't get
32,
drafted.
isn't it?
28.
28, really?
Yeah. So after 28, I felt a lot better, like a whole weight off my shoulders, and now I go like, maybe it might do like these kids good to like really serve.
Well, I personally just love that story was, like what really shaped me to be the person that I was. Well, it all started with 9/11.
It did. Like truly, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
Made me realize maybe these kids are soft
Hey,
these
they're,
days.
they're getting soft. Like,
I know what'll get them. Get them on the right path here. Oh, man.
You've been crying yourself to sleep for the last 8 years.
yeah. Well, after 28, dude, it was different. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
kids, they're
what were we
lacking
talking
just the need for the youth of the generation to get some existential terror in their
Yeah,
lives
yeah,
and
yeah.
be afraid of going to sleep every night, I don't know what we were talking about.
I don't
Have you
remember
ever-
either. Yeah, I took that over
Have
for
you
a
ever
minute.
seen a ghost in your life?
Dude, so
Shit,
I
okay.
want to say, so in college, myself and a group of friends went to one
Yes,
of
you
the haunted
ghosts.
cemetery, like the cemeteries out in the sticks that
Yeah.
are like one of the famous haunted ones or whatever. And I at one point like took it because it was like pitch black, like super dark, and we're walking through. And I remember I took out my phone light at one point and shined the light and thought that when you take your phone out and you kind of like point it down when you turn on the light on your phone.
Yeah.
And I turned the light on and I thought I saw like there was a pair of legs like walking next to me, and I literally looked up and nobody was there, and everybody was like over and to the right or to the left while these legs were on the right of me. And I think it was horrifying in the moment. It also could have been like a placebo effect thing of just being in a place that's like, you know, so you like think that it's something, but it was scary.
Yeah.
Have you had
Yeah,
one?
have you?
I mean, I had like I don't even know if I've told you about this one, Trav. I must have.
I don't recall hearing.
I've only
any.
had one, and it was like I'll tell you why I'm still debating whether it actually happened or not. But either way, Mom, when we were younger, she would come up. The way that our house is or my parents' house is, there's like a ground floor, and then you go up the stairs, and then up the stairs you can either go left or right. And left was my room, right was Trav's room, right? So that's all that's up there. And my mom would come upstairs. She would come into the room, say goodnight to me, go into Trav's room, say goodnight to him, right? So she comes into my room, says goodnight to me, turns all the lights off, leaves the door just a little tiny bit open, goes to his room. Now, in the corner of my room where, like, my TV was, but it wasn't on, I hear this. I hear, Craig. And then I go, my ear perks up. And I hear, Craig. And then I'm like, are they just like saying my name in Trav's room? Like my mom over there? And then I hear it again. I get the fuck up out of bed and I run into Trav's room. Do you remember me running into your room? This is a random memory for you probably. I run into the room and I'm like, were you guys just saying my name? And then they're both like, no. Like clearly in the middle of a different conversation. And then I'm like, what? Okay.
How old were you?
Dude, like sixth grade, fifth grade, like
Nope.
young, you know?
Oh, no.
My mom's still
way.
coming up like saying goodnight to us, you know? I was pretty young.
Right.
And then I'm like, I think I stayed in your room that night. Like I just slept on the ground, honestly.
Okay.
And that was the end of it.
That's horrifying.
And it never
Yeah, that's
happened again.
terrifying.
That was it. But
So are we a pro ghosts are real podcast that I'm assuming here?
I think
okay.
so.
I've
think
never had any.
I want them to be real. You know, like just because it would be more fun. That's
agree.
all. But like that's the only evidence that it's ever like happened to me. Now, given I was playing a lot of Pokemon at the time on my Game Boy, and I distinctly remember one night. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, where like the music of something that's really repetitive gets like imprinted in your brain.
It is
to
a
the point
thing.
of like you turn off the video game and then
Oh,
you
that's not
still
what I
hear
Can
it.
hear it, yeah.
Like it's like a ghost hearing it almost.
Okay.
It's just like that in your brain.
That's not what I
that
thought.
had happened to me like a couple weeks before this happened. So like maybe there's some sort of connection to that.
Whoa.
If there isn't a connection to that, there was something in the corner of my room saying my name 3 times in a whisper. So that was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, that is weird.
Wow.
I've never had any. I don't have any stories. I have things that happened that were weird, but like it never made me think it was like a supernatural thing. The weirdest. I have 2 weird ones. One, they're both in here also.
house?
Yeah.
We in a fucking haunted house, dude?
Let's go.
Well, all right. So it was.
Let's go.
The first one is the least weird one, so we'll start there, I guess. It was me and Al were walking down the stairs, and her laptop was on that cushion. It was like centered with that cushion.
Yeah.
We're walking down the stairs to go somewhere. I don't remember. I think it was like a Bills game or something. And then we heard the laptop fall, but like we had both seen it like in the middle of the couch cushion and don't know how it got from there to the ground. Okay. You know? And nobody had touched that for a while. Like,
And you didn't have Rory yet.
no, this was two or 3 years ago, probably.
Well, it sounds like a ghost to me.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
fucking
the other
That's the
the
logical.
other odd one is the weirder one that I can't really explain at all, which was we were upstairs, we were sleeping in our bed, and I woke up and I all of a sudden felt like this water on the sheet. And I swear, dude, it was in the middle of the night, so I don't know, but I swear, dude, when I like turned like my camera phone on to like see it, it was it had an A. Her name's Allison. It had an A and like watermark on her on the sheet.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Al knows these too. She would corroborate the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't just pee the bed? That was
It was near my hand. I could have pissed myself and like maybe it shot up.
Now
or
we have
something.
the answer, folks. Now we know.
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think
sounds
so.
like you just peed the bed.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But those were my only 2 stories, and I never have. For some reason, it was never ghost to me when that happened.
It was just a
Just a
coincidence
weird
of some
thing that
kind.
happened, and like I
Yeah.
couldn't explain it. Kind of
Interesting. Wow. Well, I think the takeaway here is that ghosts are real.
I hope,
Confirmed.
dude. Like I said, I hope so, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool.
Well, what else is going on with you guys these days?
Man, I've just been keeping busy, working, taking care of my wiener dog. You know,
Love
you
that.
you have dogs, right?
Yeah,
Two of
we
them.
have two. Yeah, Mochi and Ziggy, and then little
fantastic.
Pride and Joy.
What
for
kind
sure.
of dogs are they?
They're a couple of like pit mixes. So Ziggy is like a pit beagle mix, and then Mochi is a little bit more of like a pure pit. Maybe like a couple other things in there potentially, but yeah, no, they are great. They have just too much personality.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
it's the best.
it is. It's a lot of fun. Like just coming home, like either after work or like after a night out or anything like that, and it's just like the most like fulfilling thing. They just get so psyched. It's like
Do you have a yard at your house?
we do, yeah, we do,
Sweet,
which is
that's
really
amazing.
nice. So we can let them out. They run around in the backyard. It's great year round for sure.
Yeah.
Like they both love the snow. Obviously, love the good weather too, which hopefully will be here soon.
Dude, my dog. I have a wiener dog, and
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
long-haired wiener dog.
Oh
and
man,
when it's snowy out, because he's got these short little legs, so the bottom of his like coat he turns into like the abominable
Yeah.
snowman.
Oh my
like straight up, dude.
God.
He picks up everything out of it. It's
What's his
hilarious.
name?
Graham.
Graham. That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Nice. Oh.
Thinking about getting another one and naming him Douglas. So we just have like two like distinguished gentleman names
I
for
love
Those are very gentlemen.
Graham and Douglas.
Yeah. Are you actually thinking of getting another one?
Yeah, we'll probably wait till we buy a house. but
Right.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. These dogs are the best.
Yeah, they truly are.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, what have you been doing? What are you doing?
And I've just been recording those
Recording?
songs
Yeah.
that I wrote and driving myself crazy doing that.
Cool.
They're great though.
Thank you.
From you did I think a couple of the ones.
I did
at
a good
Milky's,
amount.
right? That's
Most
what I
of them
thought.
were new. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was so good. Like
Thank
I
you.
cannot wait to hear those come out the other side.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like this was the first time where I'm writing them pretty much from the ground up, like drums and all. So it's fun, man.
That's really cool.
It's shit I've never really done before. I'm excited. Like I was telling you earlier too, I'm making I'm gonna put a thing out on YouTube too when I finish it. It'll be like a whole probably hour long, like I don't want to call it like a concert, but like a music video almost long of
Oh,
it.
sick.
I don't know how to describe it.
Short film.
Short film of all the songs. Yeah.
Oh, really
Vignettes.
cool. Of you like performing all of them? you're
Pretty
saying?
much, yeah. Like some of them I have, like that I literally recorded it live. So like I've filmed all of this already, but I'm crazy and I have to refilm all of it again. But like some of it, the music was already recorded, and then I'll do the guitar, the acoustic guitar, and the singing live, just to have that like full live aspect to it. Some of them I'm just like the songs are all already recorded, and I'm just kind of like singing along to it. But yeah, it's
That's
fun.
so cool. Wow, I'm psyched to hear
It's taking way too much time. I've literally been working on this for like a year and a half, and I'm like about to refilm it for the fucking second time.
But the payoff though is going to be great.
It'll
I mean,
be
putting
fun.
the work in like
payoff.
that, in like a new way, has got to be
Yeah,
so
man.
exciting
Something
and to
I've
be
never done,
close to like the finished product and everything.
Yeah, being like looking at writing songs through the scope of like it being a film is interesting.
That's awesome. Wow.
Well, it was a fun way to do it.
Yeah,
Figured
it's
why
different.
not try
for
something
sure.
new, you know?
I feel like that's such a good point. Like that just like lends to, I feel like, you know, with people like us that have been doing music for a while and everything, and just like not falling into that like cyclical nature of it, and just finding new ways to challenge yourself.
Yes,
and
that's exactly
to
what I
get
was trying to do.
creatively inspired, and yeah,
Yep.
that rules.
I was like, I've done the whole just put an album out thing, which is also great and cool, but it's like, why not see what this is? You know,
Yeah.
see what this does.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, man.
nice, very cool. What about you? What's going on?
Just making silly videos.
Yeah,
dude.
Trevor's just always just
Yeah.
making silly,
That's awesome.
the
silly
silliest
videos.
videos. I do marketing for a few restaurants around here.
Yeah, you'd said that.
And
That's cool.
I spent a lot of my days like writing and filming just really fun videos with like the staff there. We've been having a blast the last few
that's
months,
great.
but, yeah.
What are you able to share with some? of
Yeah,
the-
it's so Bella Chow downtown. We talked about earlier. Vice down
yeah,
from
yeah.
them, and then Neat. Those are all like sister
Nice.
restaurants, same like restaurant group. But
Oh,
I've handled
very
their
cool.
social media for like I think I'm coming on 3 years in like a month. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, dude, that's.
And then I started
really
a
cool.
podcast at Neat and Vice also, like recently. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that and just
Dude,
just
that's
crushing
great.
videos.
You had that pizza guy on recently, right?
Yeah,
Pizza
you know
Review
Pizza
Joe?
Review Joe. He's popular around here.
Joe. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
He hits everybody's spot. I mean, we've become friends since actually.
No
but
way.
Yeah. He's come on one of my pods and yeah, we're doing that. We're just having a good time.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Just laughing.
Need more of that in the world.
Yeah.
That's
And
really cool.
We've been doing the podcast too, like when we
And then our
can,
pod, yeah.
which we've been a little slow on getting some of the most recent episodes out. We have like 2 in the bank that we plan on getting out. The one's very funny that we're gonna get released soon, which is our buddy.
Well, not the next one. It's two pods ago, I guess.
Yeah, our buddy, he's a comedian and he lives next door, and he made us chicken and dumplings while we filmed the podcast.
No way.
Do you know Jake Bauer?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course I do.
he's next door to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
oh
so-
my
yeah.
god.
So Jake
is-
I
Bauer
love
made
Jake.
he had
He's
his
a riot.
he had
love
his
him.
mom
Yeah, he's
over
awesome.
also. So it's us, his mom, and him, and he's making us chicken and dumplings. Dude, it's gold.
I cannot wait to see. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know he lived next
That's-
door. Tell him I
yeah,
said hello.
I will. Yeah. That's the next. That's in real like. Right now, that's going to be the next one coming out. Essentially, yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so exciting. Very cool.
So we're gonna try and do this a little bit more, and keeps the creative juices flowing, and
Totally.
something nice to do in the meantime. You know?
Dude,
Yeah, these
and
are so fun.
You guys do such a great job with it. I mean, I feel like right off the bat, like it wasn't even like getting your sea legs under you. It was like you guys just like hit the ground running.
We
like,
talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, we
like
had
a
been.
long time. And then even after we like for sure decided that we were going to do it, I think we recorded like 8 episodes before we. Or no, I think it was like 6 before we even put any out.
Really?
Yeah, because like the editing on this takes so long.
Yeah.
It takes so long. Like,
Oh, yeah.
We like add shit and it's like ads and stuff. Like we're not actually, but we are unofficially sponsored by Mac and Cheese, and we'll swipe to the clip right now.
Oh man.
Mac and cheese. Make a mac and cheese, water in the pot. I'm using 2 boxes, cause I want a lot.
I know what I'm having for dinner tonight, folks.
Yeah, like stuff, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
we do like silly stuff like that, but it's so much fun.
That's
dude.
great,
Yeah,
man.
It's so much fun.
It's awesome. It's so cool, like seeing because you guys. I mean, I don't know. It's cool seeing you guys like operating in different mediums. You know, like obviously my initial interaction with you and like how our friendship was kind of born was from like rock music and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like obviously you've been killing it too with like doing hip hop stuff. I know in addition
Yeah,
to your professional work. And
I haven't done the hip hop stuff in a
podcast.
while.
Well, that's what I
either,
mean. But like
though.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That was
though.
Trev's pandemic endeavor. He
Dude,
just-
I
Yeah.
love it so much. It's funny. I always told myself, I was like, I'm going to give myself to like 30 because I started when I was like 28.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hit 30 and I was like, oh, I'm going to give it another year or 2. And then I just was like, I'm too old to be like rapping.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
no, I
like
hear
it just,
ya.
I was like, it's silly. What, I'm going to be like 40 years old, like rapping about like,
Dude, the worst is
Stupid
you
shit.
That's
actually.
Andre 3000 has a great quote
Bro.
about that, like very thing, which makes me very sad that he's not still actively rapping, but like that's totally his thing. He's like, oh man, what is it? It's something like, what am I gonna like rap about? Like my doctor's like check-ins or
That's
something.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
you're talking about when he put out the flute album
Yeah,
recently,
yeah,
and he was
right.
like, "Dude, I fucking love Outkast."
yeah, same.
and
Oh.
I just actually saw a YouTube documentary talking all about Andre, and it was, bro, he's the fucking man.
He is
dude.
the best.
He is the man.
He is the best for sure. All right, here's one. What is top concerts that you guys have been to?
Okay, shit.
I have a favorite. I don't know what happens after that, but I know my number one. It was when I saw Lil Wayne perform in 2007 or 2008 at Darien Lake.
Wow.
And he played with a whole band. I don't know if he does that anymore, but he had like a whole live band that was performing.
Really? Oh,
And
that's cool.
also on top of that, it was right when Drake and Nicki came out. So they opened up for him.
Oh my
And
God.
nobody even knew who they were. Like they didn't even have songs out yet.
Really?
Yeah, because Young Money was just starting.
Like, very new at that point. Damn.
So I saw that and I like caught it and then didn't even realize who they were until like a couple years later when they were like the biggest artists in the world. Yeah,
That's
because I've
wild.
loved Lil Wayne forever. He's been my favorite. Like he's my favorite, my favorite first rapper. You
Nice.
know, like he's the guy who got me into hip hop. I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But that's mine.
Hell yeah.
I've got my top concert was in Cleveland, and it was Pup. It was the first Pup concert
cool.
that I ever went to. It was a bunch of my friends and my girlfriend at the time, now a wife. It was at a skate park too, and it was, dude, it was right when they were blowing up, and we were packed in there, and it was so fucking hot. It must have been, dude, it felt like a sauna in there. There's dudes still like skating in the back. They literally at one point had to intermission the show because the lead singer Stefan started getting worried that like people were gonna like pass out.
Holy
So like we
crap.
all walked outside and like caught some air, and then like came back in, and they just start ripping it again.
That's amazing.
That was a sick show.
Wow.
The next one would be me and my buddy Zach, Russell, the bass player,
Yeah, of
Smug and
course, of
Naturalist.
Friend of the show, he's been on.
Yeah. Just me and him went to Philly to go see Fiddler.
Oh my God, I would love to see them live.
That was sick. And then we got really drunk and we didn't have anywhere to go, so we just slept in the back of his van together, and it was cold as shit. So we just zipped 2 sleeping bags together and just cuddled all night, so
That's
we didn't like
hilarious.
freeze to death.
That's amazing.
That was great. And then the third was a few years ago, probably like 7 years ago at this point. Me, my brother, and my dad went and saw Weezer in Toronto.
Oh yeah, that was
Cool.
nice.
And that's a cool full circle moment because my dad actually is who got me into Weezer for the first
Yeah.
time, and now I obviously love him. So yeah.
That's so cool.
my top 3. Why? How about you?
I got some. I've been fortunate to see some good shows, and I've gone to a handful of festivals over the years. So like
Nice.
that helps kind of like knock a bunch off the
Yeah,
list
for sure.
I mean, I've seen Paul McCartney 4 times, which like hard to not like have him up there.
Where'd you see him?
I
Did you
saw
see him at Firefly.
No, I saw him in 2011 in Chicago at Wrigley Field, which was probably the best
Sick.
I've seen him. It was amazing. DC, I saw him at their baseball stadium. Buffalo when he was here, and then in Syracuse as well.
Cool.
So he's definitely up there. I've seen Outkast live. Outkast was
I saw Outkast live,
insane.
too.
Oh, really?
Saw him at the Hangout Music Festival in Alabama.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it 2014 when they did like
So-
the
yeah.
reunion tour stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I saw him at Gov Ball.
So, okay, sick.
Same year.
Yeah.
So that they were obviously great. I saw a really cool one. Robert Plant. I saw on my 21st birthday in Las Vegas, totally by chance.
That's
he was
awesome.
playing at the.
You're just in
venue
Vegas and
for my 21st. Yeah, like my family went. Like my mom, my sisters, couple of like relatives and stuff.
Was that when he
and-
was doing that duet thing with what's her name?
I think it was not that tour, but I think they were doing it at that
Okay.
point with Alison Krauss.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. No, it was just him and like his backing band, and it was the day of my 21st birthday,
Cool.
and we walked outside of our hotel, my sister and I, and just started walking. My sister Jenn, her and I have been to so many good concerts together over the years, but we like walk out of the hotel and just start walking down this like one road, and it's like on the back of the hotel, and we're getting closer to like the marquee of this. I was like, oh, it looks like that's a music venue. We should see who's playing there tonight. Like not thinking anything of it. And we get up to it, and it's like Robert Plant and the Sensational Shapeshifters. And we like Jen and I go up to the ticket window and are like, excuse me, ma'am, is this like Robert Plant, like Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant? And she was like, yeah, there's actually a few tickets still available. Would you guys like? So we were like, hell yeah. It was probably like 2,000 person venue, and he did these like almost like kind of bluesed out versions of Zeppelin songs and then his solo music.
Sweet.
It was like religious seeing that.
Sick.
Seen the Strokes a bunch, like they're unbelievable
Nice.
live. Arctic Monkeys I saw in Minneapolis on the AM tour at First Avenue, which is like where Prince like shot parts of Purple Rain. Really amazing like indoor venue, same thing where it's like probably a 2,000 cap. We were really, really close to the stage.
they were awesome that tour, man. I saw them. We saw them at Art Park.
Yeah, I was at that show too.
was
Yeah.
great.
I
They
was
were
when we were
sick.
talking about the Strokes earlier. I was gonna bring up Arctic Monkeys because you said the one of the Strokes albums was like one of the best albums.
Yeah,
So Who You Think You Are
Is This It?
whatever.
No, whatever people say, that's what I'm not.
Yeah, dude,
that is also up
album
there too.
Is
Hell yeah.
so friggin' perfect from top to bottom. It blows. I listen to it still like every once in a while.
Those are one
It's
of
so good.
Arctic Monkeys might be one of the only bands that I can think of that I got into right off the hop, like right off the jump. I somehow like fell into like a worm, like a rabbit hole of like getting into them.
Yeah.
Dude, off of like I forget what the record they only had on, Beneath the Boardwalks or something like that. which is the precursor to.
Oh, like their EP?
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
yeah,
when I
yeah.
started listening to them before the first record even came out.
Wow.
And then that whole thing, like that's one of the first bands that I can think of that I can trace back right to the beginning of their career. I was a fan of them.
I think they were one of the original bands that got like big on MySpace.
Yes.
Like that's
That's
what
what got
kind
them.
of their vessel. Yeah, they are incredible live, and yeah, that first record is just like
So freaking
nuts.
good.
That's actually speaking of that album, and is this it? The Strokes record. That's kind of what had birthed the idea of doing the Oasis show, was because Slow Animals last year, or well, no, it would be 2023 now, did a night at Ironworks where we did 2 sets where we did Is This It and Whatever People Say I Am, both of them all the way through.
Oh,
and it was like a huge hit. People loved it, and so it was like, all right, Ironworks is a good place for this. What if we did this with Oasis? And yeah, but those are definitely 2 of my favorite records ever, 2 of the best rock records ever, for sure. Oh my god,
Yeah, I listened to the Arctic Monkeys one in my room when it came out that year. It came out probably every single night from top to bottom for like a whole summer probably.
Oh,
it's
dude.
so good.
It's just like
so good.
Alex Turner, in my opinion, is the best rock lyricist of the 21st century
it's
for
like-
sure.
yeah,
Like
he's so down to
it's-
earth and
oh yeah. I mean, he just has such a like poetic way of writing. Like it's really unlike any other. Like if you really sit and like read through some of them, especially when you get. I mean, the first 2 records are great because it's just like that like youthful energy behind it.
Kind
and
of like
it's-
I don't give a fuck kind
yeah,
of thing.
right.
Yeah.
And then he gets way more introspective once you get to like the 3rd and 4th, 5th record. Mainly
Josh
the 3rd and
Homme got
4th.
a hold of them and was just like, I'm going to make you guys fucking weird.
Yeah.
And they were like, we want to
forgot
be
about
weird.
that.
Yeah, right. They're like, Josh Homme was like, you guys ever wear leather jackets before? I'm gonna rock
never
your
go
world.
back,
Yeah,
buddy.
right. But yeah, man, he's an unbelievable lyricist. Like I love his writing so much. Like he's one of those artists that like, I feel like I have artists that I get in like times where I'm feeling like particularly inspired by somebody that like, not like you try to write like them, but like that kind of inspiration is kind of leading the way. And like, it's a similar thing. Like Alex Turner and Julian Casablancas are definitely 2, like in terms of like modern artists that like I really am inspired by, but like you just catch yourself sometimes and it's like, as you're trying to write like certain lyrics or whatever, or kind of trying to like emulate the like, poetic nature of how he
vibe.
goes. Yeah, it's like you get into it and it's like just so not as good. Like, you know, you could just tell like he's just so good at it, and that he was doing it at such a young age and so like fearlessly and like vulnerably too, I think is like such a huge
so
part of it.
original.
Yeah, right.
Like it was him being him. It
Right.
wasn't him being somebody else, which is kind of
Exactly.
the issue with what you were
Right,
saying, where
like,
it's like
you
it's
can't.
never gonna be him.
Yeah.
So like trying to emulate that is always gonna feel like that
Exactly.
uncanny valley almost thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like your bad. Like anybody would attest to this too. Like your best writing, my best writing is like when you are just trying to like be yourself and you're trying to like push yourself, not push yourself in relation to like another artist that you have on like a
because it never
pedestal.
works.
It never
Yeah,
will.
it'll
Yeah,
never work.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you can use that as like a form of like inspiration for like phrasing or like using certain words or how you say certain things. Like it's like the science behind that all I just think is so interesting. I could talk about that forever.
Yeah, no, I mean for sure. Yeah, it's like use them as the fuel to your fire, but like it's got to be like your fire. you
Right,
know what I mean?
exactly.
I think being you is the most important thing nowadays, at least.
Totally.
You can smell that from a mile away if somebody's not being honest up there and like
Totally.
Yep.
And that's something that, again, is like another thing that I think it directly correlates with like being a younger artist. And like you kind of have to like go through the motions of that and like the steps of that and learning like, no, like what is good enough is like what I think is cool, not like what I think this other artist that I like's interpretation of what I'm trying to do is. It's like, if you think that something's cool and you're excited about it, like you said, like people are able to sense that and can feel that. Not even like on stage too, like when you're just like listening to something, you know, like I think about like some of like the great like local bands like now and in the past few years, like it's just like they're not trying to be like anything else, but that also then helps you be like, oh, that kind of reminds me of this, but also this. And like, but it's led by this just like authenticity that I think is just like, I think it's what separates like great bands from like everybody else, you know?
Yep.
I think it's really fucking cool. Yeah. Songwriting's fun.
sure is. It's also it'll drive you nuts too.
Yes, it
sometimes.
will. Yes, it definitely will. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh shit! Yeah. Hey, well, we could talk about this for hours. We'll have to have you on again.
would
We'll
love
wrap
that.
this up. We'll have to have you on again. Maybe we'll get
yeah, cool.
some of the other guys from Deb in
Yes.
too, or something
Yeah,
like that.
that'd be cool.
If you guys
Yeah.
would be up for that, I know the dudes would be down, and we're gonna hopefully we're recording like scratch tracks for our songs now, and
Cool.
we're gonna definitely try and get in the studio and start recording our stuff in like the next handful of months, like in 2025.
Yeah.
Cool.
Best case scenario, we definitely want to have like a single or two out this year and stuff, and we're just building up our base, so we gonna be starting to play shows and whatnot, and you know, I'm like really stoked about it and like really believe in it and feel very
Good.
strongly about the stuff we're writing and like how my writing's going with it and everything.
Sick.
So would love to come back and
Yeah, I can't wait to
keep
hear
this
it,
stuff
man.
going, man.
We'll have to have you on when you want to like get the word out about it, and we'll help
for
promote
sure.
it. That'd
Yeah.
be sweet.
Well, we'll pull the tag up right here also, so they can see. Yeah, it'll be like right here-ish. And we've also talked about this, like when we first started this pod, about having kind of like a live music element to it. Sometimes maybe we could do that with them too. You guys come on and play
Dude,
some
would be
songs.
sweet.
We would love
Yeah, that'd
to.
be sick.
Some of
I'd
our
love to do
stuff
that.
could like definitely be very transferable to being like cool acoustically,
Yeah.
so we could totally do that.
I think even just having like a guitar in here, like when we are just talking, might be cool. Also, like we could like improvise and just stuff like that, just
Yeah.
play around. So
We have to get
yeah.
Drew over here to run the mixer though.
Yeah,
Make
Drew will
sure.
come over. We'll figure it all out. But cool. All right, man, dude.
This has been such a pleasure, guys.
Thanks for-
This is
thanks for
great.
chilling.
Thank you guys
That
for
was
having
awesome.
me, man.
We're gonna
This
have you
is-
back on because that was great.
Please, love that.
So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Two is better than one.
Subscribe to us.
Yeah, subscribe. You know, like, comment, all those good things. I'm Trav
I'm Craig.
and Brendan. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Guys.